okay, let's put on our tinfoil hats here. I think that what's going to happen when we get to Marineford and Ace is about to be killed is the warlords are going to turn against the government. But I don't think it's going to be all of the warlords. That's why I've called up this list. So we're going to look at these. I'm going to evaluate each one of these dudes and see which ones I think are part of the Great Warlord conspiracy, and which ones aren't. So start with Mihawk. I think he's definitely part of the conspiracy. He's against the government. Then we've got Jimby. He doesn't seem to. Jimby doesn't seem to be aware of it, or he's keeping it close to his vest. I don't know why he wouldn't tell Ace. Like, why wouldn't he say, "Hey, by the way, some of my buddies, we've got this plan going on, so we're good." Maybe it could be he swore to them he wouldn't say anything to anybody. So he's bringing Luffy there, and then Luffy will find out in good time. That's possible. So I would put him as a possible. If we were playing spades and I was bidding my hand, right now I'd say one and a possible. I'm convinced Mihawk's part of the conspiracy. Jimby's a possible. Because, like I said, as I speak this out loud, I start realizing things. At first, it didn't make any sense in my head. Why would he not tell Luffy? But what if he gave his word? Like, they made a pact with each other. We swear we won't say anything to anybody until it's time to strike. So there we go. So, that being the case, I think one and a possible. Now, Don Quixote. Here's the thing. Mind control is such an evil power. I can't imagine a good person having that power. I think he's a bad person, and so he would be pro-government. And plus, he has a formidable power, so it'd be interesting to see people have to struggle against it. So I think from a writing point of view, you also want to make him one of the bad warlords. So I'm going to say no for him. I don't think there's any question Kumo's part of it. So now we're saying two and a possible, right? He's got to be part of the conspiracy. He's the most enigmatic person. Like, what is he doing? He's doing weird stuff even before anybody else is doing weird stuff. Okay, so we're saying two and a possible. Gecko, I think no way in hell. He's just evil. He's just a bad person. He's in it for. We've spent time with him, so no for him. Hancock didn't seem to know anything about this. She was not going to go. If she was part of a conspiracy, she would be on the first boat there. Oh yeah, I'm going to go there and be part of it. So no, I think she'll jump in with our side, but we're talking about who is part of the conspiracy. I'm saying no, not her. Which just leaves with Blackbeard, and I think he's definitely part of the conspiracy. He's doing weird stuff. Like, what are you doing? Like, you seem to be against the government. So, three and a possible. So, if we say the possible, we just say, okay, it is him, then that's four of the seven warlords we've got on our side. Now, it's possible, like, for instance, maybe I'm just, saying his power makes him evil could be an overstatement. Like, maybe he is part of the plan. He'll join in on a conspiracy, and then he's going to be evil later. Like, it's entirely possible. Five is a lot better than four. But maybe we say two possibles. So I'm going to say three and two possibles. So they probably have at least four. Of the seven, they have at least four. Now, Hancock's going to jump in on our side, but they wouldn't know that. So yeah, I think there's a conspiracy in play here. And so it's not going to be as stacked against Whitebeard as we think it was. And Whitebeard would know this. I still think there's a faint possibility Ace got captured on purpose. He worked with Blackbeard. They came to an agreement after what we saw. They came to an agreement. He allowed himself to be captured to spring all this into motion to cause the government to bring everybody together. So then Blackbeard can strike at the prison. Meanwhile, Whitebeard wants to strike these people and eliminate some of these people anyway. Get rid of some of the heavy guys at the top all in one place at one time. Maybe he can drop a nuke there or something. Maybe even the nuke is inside Ace. He has some kind of weapon inside of him that he can just destroy everybody, right? Think if he dropped a nuke. They don't have nukes, but, a magical version. Theoretically, let's say he did that. You'd be wiping out the five elders, I assume. And then you would have the bad warlords, because maybe the good ones would stay away, or maybe the warlords aren't a part of it. Maybe I'm crazy. So you can wipe out all the warlords and the three admirals and the battalions of elite troops and all their materiel and, some of their best battleships and stuff would all be gathered there in one place to protect this one asset. That's a lot of good shit in one place. If you could obliterate everything in a 2-mile square radius, man, that would be a death blow to the government. Then Whitebeard and all these other badasses could just sweep in and just clear out the government at that point. All of your heavy hitters are gone. Now, I don't think the story's going to go that way, but man, if I was Whitebeard, I'd try to do something like that. We're talking about a chess master, gambit there. You put this bomb inside of Ace, he can set off at any moment. Let him get captured. Go through this whole song and dance. He's going to have to suffer the torture. He's going to have to suffer the privatation and all the pitfalls of being in prison. And it would be why he wanted Luffy to stay away, other than the obvious reason, brotherly love. This could be an additional reason, right? Everything's in play at this point, as far as I'm concerned. So I think the more likely conspiracy is just the warlords are ganged up with Whitebeard to take out the government. But that's where I want to take right now. We'll see what happens. All right, you know where we are. You know where we're going. 3, 2, 1. The funny thing is they show him crying, but he wasn't crying about losing his crew. He's crying about losing one of the members of his new crew. But, Ed didn't be like that sometimes. I think I heard Fishman. Is that possibly what he said? Did he say Fishman? Him looking determined is just, I don't know why it makes me laugh. Somebody, some asshole in one of my shorts comments a while back said that, hey, he's laughing at things that aren't funny. It's not always about things being funny. It's about, I love the characters so much, just seeing them and seeing a particular expression on their face or posture of their body makes me laugh because I enjoy it so much. I'm so in love with these characters. That's why I laugh sometimes. It's not always just about, oh, hardy har har, right? Hey, we're going to get some Ace backstory. Ha, you ain't beating shit. They must be close in age. I thought they were further apart in age. Who's number 56? Is it possible he's a football fan, the author? Wait, so I thought Ace had left before he ate the devil fruit power. Ace was here when he did that. Interesting. Did he get the fruit power first, or did Ace get a fruit power first and he wanted to emulate his brother? I'm sure we'll find out. I'm just curious. You're weak. Like I said, I love these characters, man. Okay. That explains a lot right there. All right, right. They may have said that. He may have been surprised when he saw fruit power as adults earlier, like episode 87, right? Yeah, that was cool. Yep, flashback. You're going to have to show. I was going to say you're going to have to show the cut down screen because you're not going to reanimate this. Yeah, might as well repurpose the old animation, right? That's right. That's a Predator moment. I don't remember that happening. That was a Predator moment. Minor business, huh? Here you've been trashing shit. Pretty badass. That's a great logo, by the way. Denied. I'm my own gang. No. Just flat out no. Well, one of these days I will be. Luffy. Well, you're going to have to help me become king of the pirates. You always kick your ass, right? No chance in hell. Interesting. Get rid of. Cool shit. I still think that he could have turned Blackbeard, or Blackbeard could have turned him and said, "Look, man, I know we got beef, but here's the deal." Now, why is this in full screen? Did they reanimate this? Why is this in full screen? Maybe it's after they went to higher resolution of animation. Good shit. I like his happy face, sad face hat. Well, they can't do that anymore. He's by himself. I liked Ace. He was a great member while we were with him. Don't get executed. Yeah. Yeah, they are a lot alike. Somebody pointed this out, right? This is why they're talking alike, because they're a lot alike in mentality, man. It was from the very beginning it was set up that they were a lot alike. I didn't realize. Sometimes I need the comments to tell me. You're a small fry. How dare you lie to me? Man, I guess Bellamy had no idea that Blackbeard could have kicked his ass left, right, and center. Well, I guess we're just hilarious. I was so pissed. That Luffy back down didn't kick their asses. I was pissed, man. He's such a dick. Like I said before, I said this recently. This show makes you hate these characters so much so fast. How is this possible? How, man? How can you just go from 0 to 100 like you just absolutely can't stay? You want to throttle the life out of people you just met. How does this show do this? Continuously do this? It's one of the coolest things this show can do is because villains are hard to pull off. A lot of times villains are just boring or lame, man. This show has never had a boring or lame villain. Not a single one. Some people might feel that way about Foxy, but I thought Foxy was awesome. He was hilarious. Frustrated Nami. They showed this recently too. The splashback. This is in more detail than last time, so I'm assuming this is relevant for him to show it twice. How dare you? My dreams, like my appetite, are endless. Say it, don't spray it. I mean, a lot of people can be Ace. A lot of people, anybody can be got, right? That's the first thing you learn as a kid if you're in, get a lot of fights like I do. Anybody can get got. This kind of shit's necessary when one episode a week, and it's been so long. It's probably been months since this scene. I suspect. Probably been months. Like this is probably what 20 episodes ago, 30. So sometimes you just got to remind the audience. I'm curious the episodes that come out now, knowing the stream model that exists now, and they've known this for years now. I wonder if they don't do this anymore. They know people are just going to stream everything. Rewatch it. It's easily accessible now. I wonder if back in the day people had like stacks of videotapes of all these episodes, like recorded off the TV. You got to handwrite the labels on this shit. One story arc could probably stack from floor to ceiling. Here's the thing you may not know if you're not old enough. You could record it in different quality. Like 1 hour mode was the best quality, but like you could only get an hour on your tape. 6 hour mode was the worst quality, but you could get 6 hours on the tape. Right? It's right there in the 10. So you could get 12 episodes on the tape if you didn't want really good screen quality. Have you gotten a measure of him though? He's actually interacted with Blackbeard twice. Does he have the measure of him? Does he know how dangerous this man is? This was when we got the first series flashbacks. I think it was this episode. So we're flashing back to the episode where we did the flashbacks that we just saw. That's like a show going up his own ass, right? He may want to get busy. It's hilarious. Yeah. I think Crocodile's a little afraid of Luffy. Have you got that sense of it? When Luffy went like that, they kind of just stopped the little beef, right? They were going to fight each other. The thing is, if he did enter into conspiracy with Ace, Luffy would have never played along with the conspiracy. So he picked the right man. Plus, Ace is going to get Whitebeard involved. Luffy wouldn't. I think this is new information. Maybe not, but I don't remember it. Yeah, he's definitely in league with Whitebeard. I bet some of the others are too. Some ain't right, man. There's something more going on here. Convinced of it. Is this Marineford? Look at it. So it's a Gulf Harbor. They got fortifications all the way around. So if you enter that Gulf to get to the dock, man, you're surrounded essentially. That's a really big sword. What I wouldn't give for 10 minutes of his inner monologue. Huh. I wonder if we're finally going to see the end of this fight. This will tell us right here if something's up. Unless they cut away before they do it. Because we saw this part. I feel like this was what is this, 151? No, I think 151 was that when we learned about the council, the five elders, and all that stuff. That was a big episode. Such a cool logo. You say nothing. He seems to just be out for himself. I don't know if that's true. Well, you done said the wrong thing here. Now, telling him that Luffy's your brother is stupid. I said this at the time. Feels like a mistake. That wasn't very nice. I think Blackbeard's a little pissed that he shot him. There are so many characters here to whom which bullets just don't work. Makes you wonder why bullets are so prevalent. I guess they work against all the other people, right? So if you have a weapon that works against 98% of the world, I guess you use them, you know? It just seems like everybody because we were following the most powerful characters. I like some of his grunts and stuff. Just such good voiceover. It's so good. Yeah, it's pretty shitty of you. He did. You know, the name was vaguely familiar, so this is where they mentioned it. Okay, this is where they're talking about the book. People told me about this. He wanted this one as soon as he saw it. I guess I'm gonna have to kill you and take that fruit. That's one way to put it. He can't be talking about the fate of the world when he made choices, man. See, back in I was so hyped back here at Blackbeard. Then he just gets swamped by poison in 2 seconds, man. Dude. Such a great entrance. Maybe he can redeem himself. I'm not closed minded on that front. Firefly. Maybe that's why it's green, right? That's right. He's burning that ass. Yeah, that's what fire does, dumbass. It does burn, doesn't it? Getting those grunted. Such good voiceover. I love it. Punches. How do you fight somebody like this? Interesting. I remember when this happened, but I had forgotten it in the meantime. This may be the best power. No power for you. And I'm taking your hat too. They both had signature hats, the two brothers. I really thought he was going to kill him right here. That would have been some shit. But if he had, then we wouldn't have had this all this great storyline we've been getting, right? So, damn, I did all these sit-ups to get these great abs just to have my stomach caved in. Feels like a waste of time. Yeah, wrecked. I'm thinking so, yeah. I mean, they're literally just replaying the entire scene. But I'm wondering, are we going to go past the point we saw last time? But I'm sure this is important exposition here. Like this, I talked about at the time how, like, if he goes against Luffy seriously, in earnest, how can Luffy handle, like, not having powers? That would be very interesting. Shit. Can't remember. Did I say that was a shitty movie last time? I don't think I've actually seen it. I've heard the song. I like the song. Is this where he changed his mind? That's the question. Yeah, badass line, but, what happens next? That's what I want to know. Conspiracy confirmed? He did call him stupid, though, so. Not a good starting point for a lasting relationship. He's talking about dying in darkness, but he doesn't die though, right? So he's talking shit. This when the two things collide is when they stopped the last time. So I wonder if we're going to see any more this time. He talks a lot of shit. I love him. Yep, this was the stopping point. Nope, not going to show a damn second past that. So you just replayed 5 minutes that we've already seen. That's how you end the episode too. So you literally can just stop when they start that flashback, like on upon rewatch, because you've literally just seen that, right? But it tells me there was a lot of crucial information there, and they want to remind us of that, like what Blackbeard's powers are, what they said to each other. Really seems to cut against the idea of them two conspiring together. Now, Whitebeard could be the chess master and could know the way Blackbeard thinks and know if he puts Ace, because Ace went by himself, which it seems foolish. Blackbeard has a bunch of buddies with him, if nothing else, right? You think you send a couple more minions. So he puts Ace in Blackbeard's path, knowing that he'll kick his ass, because Ace will let him, because he's in on it. And that Blackbeard will take him to the government, and also knows that Blackbeard is going to betray the government, which also works into his plans. And Blackbeard knows if they're going to execute Ace, Whitebeard is going to come into the whole thing, which is a perfect distraction for him to go do the prison thing. So it's kind of like, we're not conspiring together, but if I know you're going to rob a bank on 5th Street, I might decide to rob a liquor store on 4th Street 5 minutes afterwards. So that enough time for the police to get to 5th Street, so then I can go in at 4th Street and nobody's going to show up before I can get out of there with the money. We're not working together. We didn't set this up ahead of time, but I know you're going to be robbing that bank. So I'm just going to wait 5 minutes and I'll do my own thing. That could be what's going on here. Whitebeard and Blackbeard are both using each other. And they have some level of knowledge of that Whitebeard just knowing how Blackbeard thinks, and then Blackbeard knowing what Whitebeard will do in this set of circumstances. That's probably the most likely scenario. Rewatching this, which this is a valuable part of this, rewatching this, it really doesn't seem like then, after the two things collide, okay, now that you've called me stupid and we've talked shit to each other and we've done all these things to each other, okay, now sit down and let's conspire. That just doesn't seem like what happened, right? We would have had to have seen something here. Something. And we saw nothing. So I think it's more what I'm saying now than what I was saying at the beginning.